Welcome back to the Loose and Groovy Baseball Show. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. It's February 9th. Um, Eagles are playing today, going up against the Chiefs, looking for a better time than 2 years ago. Hopefully we'll see it. I haven't asked you yet. Who do you think Eagles got a chance tonight, or who do you got?
Oh, they definitely have a chance. I honestly I think the Eagles are going to win, but I would not be surprised if the Chiefs pulled something out that
Yeah, yeah.
somehow like a crazy ending or flag or I don't know. Have we told the fans that you're an Eagles fan?
I don't think so, actually.
I think it's just now coming out that
Yeah, which is kind of odd because of the White Sox and everything. But yep,
yeah.
Eagles. So it's been a fun season for me so far. I what I keep saying is I think we're a more talented team, but I mean I think everybody knows Chiefs are really hard to beat in the playoffs just with Mahomes and Andy Reid, and there's a certain pedigree they bring that is kind of just tough to get through. But it should be a good game. I'm excited. I'm really excited
Yeah.
to watch. So yeah, I think we'll win, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, now getting into baseball, what everybody else is here for today, we're doing second baseman, making our way across the diamond of the infield. So yeah, second baseman going today. It's a pretty interesting group. There's a good mix of young and old guys in this list, so it should be interesting to see where all these guys line out. Parker has some more trivia for me, it sounds like. So, oh, well, do you want to do Pete first? Or you want to do trivia first?
Let's just talk about Pete real quick.
I mean, I don't have much on. We've talked about it a little bit already, but pretty
Yeah.
much Pete, I think it was $54 million for 2 years.
Yeah,
With a couple
54
of
mil.
like, there's the opt out after this year, right?
Yeah, so he's making 30 the first year and then he can opt out after this year. So he's kind of betting on himself, which is crazy because I feel like he's proven a lot.
Mm,
I think it also comes down to like the Boris problems, like last year with like Chapman and Snell. If you're not like the top, like if you're Juan Soto, it's perfect for Boris. Like he'll get you that big contract. But it seems like the kind of not even star, but like above average players just kind of get pushed off to the side.
hmm.
So it seems like it kind of came back to get him. So
Yeah, I think Pete's gonna go on a tear this year, to be honest, because it's like I'm sure he's not very happy with how this whole thing turned out, and
no,
now that this is like a prove it deal, I wouldn't be surprised if he has probably one of his best seasons, if not his best season coming up. I'm expecting pretty big numbers for him heading in. But I think we both kind of said it. It's like kind of a really good deal for both sides, really, because Pete, he gets paid still a good chunk. It's not the
hmm
long-term deal he was looking for, but he can play really well this year and then opt out and just go do the same thing next year. And
yeah,
the Mets get a first baseman because they really needed a first baseman. I think um, they made their line they made their lineup look a lot sexier this year in the offseason, but it
mhm,
still is like not, the best. I like, and maybe we can talk about this a little bit more, but like stacking it up with the Braves and the Phillies, are the Mets still like are they even a top two team in that division? But I think Pete definitely puts them into that
yeah,
conversation more than without having Pete now. So
yeah. If they were missing Pete, then it'd be a huge difference from last year. And I know they got Soto, but no matter what, taking a guy that hits 35 home runs guaranteed every year out, that's gonna hurt you a lot. So
right.
definitely massive that they brought him back.
And we still have the questions with the starting rotation too, and how that's going to look. And a few like, is Vientos going to have as good of a season again? Is Alvarez going to make the jump behind the dish? And then there's a couple other things. So I think the Soto thing is like, oh yeah, look at this. But reality, the Mets are kind of like still maybe trying to find their footing. But I think they'll
Yeah,
be competitive either way. All right, so we'll move on to your little trivia. What do you got for
yeah.
me this week?
So you're going to get 90 seconds, and here let me get my stopwatch
I
ready.
hate the timed ones.
So
You're
90 seconds, and all you gotta do, I'm not picking like some underground like
okay.
bottom dweller team, but you have to give me the projected, and I'll give you some leeway. Like if you name a bench bet, like give me the projected nine in their position for the Orioles, and then give me a few of their bench bats, and then I want two relief pitchers, and then try to give me at least four of their starting pitchers.
Okay, in 90 seconds.
90 seconds, and after you name the first one, we can start.
Okay. Adley Rutschman,
A position too.
Mountcastle at first.
Position. Okay.
Oh, wait. Sorry, am I going?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. Mountcastle. Uh, I'm gonna skip second. Uh, Gunnar Henderson, and then it's Jordan Westberg, Cowser, Cedric Mullins, and Tyler O'Neill. Grayson Rodriguez. Is it Bradish?
So
Bradish.
Bradish is currently not
Okay.
slated to start. So
Jose Suarez is he's not Jose Suarez. Albert
Or
Suarez.
yeah, Albert, he's
Um,
projected for the bullpen.
okay. Zach Eflin.
Hmm.
And then give me Bautista and Sir Anthony Dominguez.
Okay, yeah.
Ben.
And if you can name more, name
Okay.
more.
Is Mateo second base? Sanchez is gonna DH or whatever. Um,
So yeah, Sanchez, he's gonna get mixed around with the DH with O'Hearn.
yep.
But Mateo right now is not
Okay.
slated.
I didn't have O'Hearn, so I'll take that one. Um,
Second base, I don't think you named this guy. It's it's kind of obvious. He hasn't
really?
been around long at all.
Oh yeah, it's Holiday. Sorry.
Yeah. No.
Um, and then am I missing any other big? I said Rodriguez, Eflin,
You
Suarez.
you named, I believe you named all their starting nine. You
Mm.
named Gary Sanchez, who's like I said, DH kind of off the bench. Um, there's a few guys. Think about a guy that they just got.
I said Tyler O'Neill, if that's where you're going. Or
No, did you say Laureano? They just picked him up.
I did not actually. Did they sign Roman Laur? They signed him? I didn't see that.
Yeah, so he had a good year last year.
Did.
Before last year, he was not very good, but it's like a 4 or 5 mil contract. So
Good for him. Yeah, he
yeah, good
was with
upside.
Atlanta at the end of the season, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
So that is time. See if you can name their one older starting pitcher they picked up in the offseason. I don't know if you
Oh
knew.
yeah, it's oh, I'm gonna totally blank on his name. And they also signed that guy from Japan, which I don't even know his name.
Yeah, I'm seeing that right now. I haven't even heard of that.
He
Tomoyuki Sugano.
Yeah, he pitched over here for the World Baseball Classic for
Okay.
Japan, and he's like a pretty good MPB guy.
Yeah.
He's old too, and like this other guy who I can't just tell me his name because I'm not gonna know it.
Charlie Morton, the
Yeah.
Braves
Okay.
legend.
And he's what, like 38 or something?
He's 41.
Oh, wow. Okay.
41 years old. I mean, he's still an innings eater, 4.3 ERA. That Sugano guy, he is old, 35 years old,
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
from Japan. That's crazy.
That was a
So yeah,
good one,
pretty
though.
good. You named off all the starting nine, and then the bullpen are always hard, but you rattled off those.
Yeah, I just
Um,
kind of picked the big two that came out.
I
Is he gonna be here the whole year, or is he gonna come in
yeah,
late? The other
no,
guys?
I think he's going to be there from the start because he missed all of last year. I like their bullpen a lot, dude. Felix
Mm-hmm.
Bautista, they picked up Kittredge. He's always really good. Keegan Aiken's decent. Stranson Dominguez, Yiner Cano.
Diner. Yep.
Gregory Soto, like a decent lefty arm. Albert Suarez is getting moved to the bullpen supposedly. Like I like that a lot, honestly.
Yeah, they should be. They should be okay. Them and the Phillies are kind of getting lost, I feel like, because
Mhm.
they weren't like big free agent spenders, but they're still really good and really young. Or I mean, Orioles are probably more on the young side, but hopefully Holiday has a good first full season too. I completely forgot about him coming up
Yeah.
and being up there with the team. But I think he could, have a good jump this year, but we'll see. All right, second baseman. Let's get into it. Do you have any honorable mentions you want to shout out
Uh,
first?
yeah, I have Jonathan India and Gleyber Torres. A big reason I didn't put these
Oh,
guys on.
wow. You don't
Yeah,
have Glaber in your top 10?
no, I don't. Honestly, I wasn't going to be biased with this one.
Okay.
Um, their defense is just so bad. It's just hard. And Jonathan India, I know his offensive numbers look decent, but it's the ballpark is a huge factor in my opinion. Like if he moved to Comerica, I'm not sure. I think Kaufman's kind of middle of the pack in terms of,
So
is that
no,
hitter?
it's Kaufman I think Great American and Kaufman are 3 and 4. So they're pretty like
Okay,
it's
so
like
he should still be a
yeah,
decent. Okay.
it should be similar production at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah, so that scares me a lot. I don't think he's truly as good as his numbers say. Um, yeah, he's just kind of been middle of the pack, but yeah, I'll explain why my other guys stand out. But do you have any honorable mentions?
Yeah, so India is one of mine. that one really good season he had in like 21, I think it was. He had like four, it was a 4-win season, but it's
Mhm.
not been near that since then. Um, Luis Garcia Jr. is on my honorable mentions. He might be on
Okay.
your top 10.
Yeah.
I've seen him on quite a few top 10s. I can kind of get into why a little bit, mostly just because I want to see him do it again. And I know that's kind of shallow, but I just
Yeah.
there are some other guys on here that I like more than him right now, but still honorable mention. And then I had Zach Geloff and another guy you might have in your top 10. I have Bryce Terang outside
Okay.
too. So yeah, I just had four guys. Do you I can get us started and we can do the snake thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So at my number 10, I have Brandon Lau over in Tampa Bay. Pretty good trade candidate for Tampa Bay this year. He'll be gone eventually. Brandon Lau, I definitely took more of the pedigree here on his side. I think his hitting is pretty good for his second base. A lot of these guys just don't hit the ball that well, to be honest, and that's kind of why I favored Lau over like a Turang, um, and some of the other guys that just missed. I think his bat is just kind of pretty solid and pretty consistent. And yeah, I think I just gonna give him his flowers, get him in the top 10 here. He's been doing it for a little bit now. One of the older guys on this list actually too.
Mhm.
2024, 783 OPS, 21 home runs. 2021 was his big year, it looks like, with 39. I don't have much else to say on him. His OPS plus is always going to be above 100, which you like to see.
Mhm.
War has not been all that great. 4-5 was his highest, and he has a couple 2-win seasons here and there. So I think 10 was fine, but I don't have much else to say on him.
Yeah, I have him higher, just kind of like we were talking about, or like you were talking about with the hitting. Some of the guys they lack the hitting, and I think that should push him even higher than 10. But I don't have much higher. Do you want me to go to 10, or are you gonna do two right now?
You go to 10 and then 9, and then we'll ping
Okay,
pong it back to me.
gotcha. So I got Bryce Terang at 10. I know his hitting is not there, but I do have a lot of hope in him because he is super young still, so it's not like he's been in the league for like 6 or 7 years and he has still yet to prove it. Like he's going into his age 25 season in his third season. And this past year, his really what set him apart was his defense and his speed. So he had 50 stolen bases, only six caught stealing, and then in terms of defense, so he did win the Gold Glove there, and then also he was seventh, and outs above average was six out of all second basemen.
Also, the NL
Um,
Platinum Glove winner.
was he really? He was the platinum?
Yeah, I'm confident. Like, yeah, no, I'm pretty sure
And, and-
it was him and
yeah,
Cal. Yep.
yeah. So maybe I would have had him at 9 or 8. I don't know, but 4.7 WAR and really. That might be he might have had negative offensive WAR.
You might
I
be
don't
right. It's
um
pretty bad.
yeah, so he might have got 5 WAR from his defense, but there's some value in that. And I tried to you probably do this too, but I try to draw a line between like not letting WAR completely cloud my judgment because like Brandon Lau, he'll have like a 2 WAR, but his offense is great. Like
Mhm.
it's kind
Yeah.
of hard to balance between how much do you want to look at WAR with how much defense is valued.
Yep.
So yeah, I have him at 10. I'm expecting an improvement in offense. Even if he gets to league average or just below league average on offense, I still think he would be a top 10 second baseman if he
Yeah.
keeps up with the defense. So
Absolutely.
um number nine, so I have Luis Garcia at number nine. Um I like what I'm seeing out of him. I know the first 4 years he was right around league average. Oh, actually, probably pretty below league average, 90 OPS plus to 101, which was in 2022. But this past year, he broke out with 18 home runs, 70 RBIs, and a 115 OPS plus with a 760 OPS. I'm pretty confident in him. His defense is also decent. He was ninth and outs above average was 5. Um, WAR was only 2.2, which not bad at all. But again, this kind of goes to he's going in his age 25 season. So am I gonna pick him or a guy that's like Kleber who's been in the league longer and who lacks the defense? I kind of got to go with the youth on that one.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, I think what's going on with the Nationals is contagious with all these guys kind of starting to break out. I think I was talking to you about this, like James Wood, his projections are like crazy, like 800 OPS. Um, yeah, so I can definitely see Garcia continuing on this trajectory. Um, so yeah, number nine.
Yeah, he's a very well-rounded player, I would say. He can good defense, good hitting. Yeah,
Mhm.
he is going to be a solid choice, I think, and I'm excited to watch him next year because I'm curious to see how he's going to do after this kind of, mini breakout year.
Yeah.
I think it should be interesting. So for my number nine, I have Bryson Stott over in Philly. Um, Coming off a bit of a what you want to call it, a bit of a down year, I guess, compared to his 23. 23 had a 4.3 WAR. That was with 15 home runs, 747 OPS, and playing really, really good defense over there. That's kind of where they get his main value out of him. Excuse me. Um, this year, offensive production definitely dipped down a bit. Defense was still there, and I think it is always going to be there. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping for a bit of a bounce back offensively for him this year. I'm not really sure what that's going to look like or what his peak is going to be. He had a 103 OPS plus in 23, so is he ever going to be an above average hitter? I don't really know. But, oh, sorry. I lean a lot towards the second baseman that play really good defense. And if they're an average, slightly above average hitter, I really tend to gravitate towards those guys for some reason. So yeah, I think Stott fits in really well in Philadelphia too. The fans love him, team loves him. I'm sure you've seen the clip of that. I think was it a grand slam against Miami or just the home run he had
I think it was
with
just a home run, but
the song or whatever, and everybody's singing it.
Mhm.
Yeah, just cool stuff like that. And to have that experience at your age 25 season, I think is pretty cool. And I think he'll be solid for years to come. So I feel
Yep.
pretty good about that pick. And then my number eight is going to be Gleyber Torres. So not too high, but I think it was just so tough looking at his previous seasons and to it just felt disrespectful to not have him in the top 10 to be honest with you. And I guess you could look at last year, 15 home runs, 709 OPS, and then you factor in going to Detroit, and we all know Detroit is kind of a tricky ballpark to hit in. So we could even see that number tick down too. Um, and maybe going all the way back to 2019, I guess that would be 6 years ago now, which is kind of crazy to say. But you see the 38 home runs, 871 OPS, even at 25 and 2023 at 800 OPS. So I think there's things to like with Glaber. The defense is definitely the part where you're like, okay, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But I think overall, I'm hoping a scenery change might help him out. I don't think him and New York were on the best of terms, and maybe he can fit in with this young group in Detroit and kind of have a nice season here. Definitely a bounce back from last year, hopefully, because he had put up pretty consistent 22, 23 numbers. So maybe looking at back to get back into stride there. But yeah, number eight, Glaber.
Yeah. First going with Stott, I didn't even think about him. I guess for a second I did, but I just remember last year, like he got off to a super hot start, and then in the second half he like simmered down a lot. I thought last year he would have had like a 120 OPS plus, but it got all the way down to 103. So he kind of this regression started in 2023, which kind of scared me.
Mm,
And then his defense also regressed a little bit. I know he still racked up 2.5 WAR, which is again almost purely based off of that, just the defense.
yep.
Um, so yeah, I would not be surprised at all if he broke out. It's just again like looking at his first year, 653 OPS. Like I don't know.
So
Um,
I would argue then. So when I was looking at Stott and Terang, they are very similar. Where this is going to be Stott's fourth year, it'll be Terang's third year.
okay,
Um, they both had around a 4-win season in like kind of their breakout season. Stott kind of took a step back this year. So then I guess you're more thinking Terang is going to take a step up or at least
Mhm.
maintain it. Whereas Stott, you saw the step back and you're kind of like, okay, maybe you're going to bank
Yeah,
on the
exactly.
outlook of Terang more.
Hmm.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes
Yep.
sense. I'm not, yeah.
I honestly I can see them being like the exact same player this year. Like I can see Stott taking or being like kind of the same, maybe taking a little step forward hitting and then Terang um they're gonna be just about the same player, I think. I would love for one of them to break out. I think that'd be cool. I think it'd be cool for Milwaukee fans if they got another hitter because they're always lacking in the hitting department, I feel.
Wow.
Um,
I don't know if you knew this. Stott stole 31 last year and 32, or 31 2 years ago, 32 this past
yeah,
year.
I'm looking at that now, and three caught stealing each of those too.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, there's some value there too. So
Yeah, 100%.
yeah, my number, where am I at? Sorry,
I think you're on eight.
8. Did I say my 9? I said Luis Garcia?
Yeah, you did. You did.
Okay, okay, right, because you started at 10. Got it. So nine, number 8. And I have no idea if you even have this guy. It's his savant looks a little scary. I have Tyler Fitzgerald. It seems like he got pretty lucky, but even if he did get lucky, he has an 831 OPS last year with a 136 OPS plus, 15 home runs, 34 RBIs in less than 100 games played, racked up a 2.8 WAR. So his most of that WAR is just offensively. His defense is kind of middle of the pack. If anything, below average. Is hard to get his stats because he doesn't qualify for a lot of things since he only played 96 games. But I even if he regresses down to a 790 or 800 OPS, it's hard to kind of come by good offensive numbers at second base. Um, so yeah, I don't really have much more to say about him. I'm super curious. Do you have him on your list?
Mm-mm.
Did you even like see him? I don't even know if he's gonna play second, honestly.
I did. I did. Um, I just I
Also going
wasn't.
to 27, so he started so late. I don't know. It's age.
Yeah. I think age and games played was kind of my thing. Um, I and he had a pretty insane stretch of games. I forgot what exactly it was, but it was like 4 or 5 games. I think he hit a home run in a row,
Mhm.
which is nuts. Um, so he's gonna be age 27 season, I think, is what it is.
Yeah, so age 27 season, and like you were saying with that insane stretch, maybe this is what's sticking in my mind and pushing him so high on my list. But I was playing my uncle in fantasy that week, um, and that was the week that he went off, so it
Really?
was
Okay.
killing me. So I like kept looking at him like, who is this guy? Is he gonna slow down? And then I mean, from there he slowed down because obviously you're not going to hit a home run every game, but like
Yeah.
he still kind of consistently put up good offensive numbers. So very curious to see what's in store for him next year. I can see him tanking. I can also see him maintaining it. I don't know, but
Yeah, I think for me it was just a similar story with Garcia and Turang and him now. It's just kind of like I want to see more and see more of
Mhm.
it. I don't know why for second baseman I favorite experience and like previous things so much
Yeah,
over like spurts, I guess you could say. And not that these are spurts, but like short periods of a success, whether that's over a season, over a stretch of
yeah,
games. I think I would really like to see him, keep this up, and I think the Giants would too, definitely. But yeah, I think just looking at the other guys on my list, I just didn't think he fit in just yet. But
yeah.
I definitely see your argument 100%.
Yeah. So number 7, I have Brandon Lau. I'm a huge Brandon Lau guy. I think he's super super underrated. I think anybody on the Tampa Bay Rays kind of falls into that underrated category. So he has yet to have an OPS plus below 100. So he's always been a league above league average hitting. So ever since he got in league, age 23 is 112, 125, 154. That was his huge year. In 2020, he finished eighth in MVP. His numbers look better than that. Like that kind of tells a story with the underrated. But 40 home runs, 100 RBIs in 2021 with a 140 OPS plus, 101, 112, and then 121 this last year. Just super consistent. His 2022 season was only the only year he didn't have the counting numbers, but it was just because he was injured. He only played 65 games. But I'm huge on him. His defense, not nothing to be bragging about, but um, with those hitting numbers, I don't think you can really put him anywhere. I mean, he's definitely got to be top 10. So going into age 30 season, there's no doubt in my mind he's gonna continue to be an above average hitter, and I feel like there's some value in like all these guys we've been talking about. We don't know what they're gonna bring. We kind of know what Brandon Lau is gonna bring, which
Yeah,
kind of brings him up on my list.
absolutely. Absolutely. Is it me?
Yeah.
Okay. So my number seven, and I take it you have this guy higher. I have Andres Jimenez here. Um, I think everybody knows the story with Jimenez. The defense is amazing. Um, but looking at the past two seasons, and I think this is why Cleveland traded him away, OPS has ticked down about 200 points across 2 years. It peaked at 837, and I don't think it's going to ever get higher than that, to be honest with you. And then we go down to 712 and 23, and then 638 in 2024. The defense obviously is amazing. One of the best defenders in the league. I'm pretty sure he probably has won a platinum glove. He's won three gold gloves in a row, which is really impressive. 7-4 WAR, 5-3 WAR, and then a 4-win season last year, despite the really bad hitting. So he's a very, very crafty player over at second. I want to see the bat, man. The bat is not good at all. I mean, 82 OPS plus is just not going to swing it. Um, and I guess you can make the argument about well, like for me against me, you had Terang at not even here, but what's the difference between him and Jimenez? I think Jimenez has just shown me that his bat can be good. Like something is there. Like a 141 OPS plus doesn't, just come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I just hope we can see him kind of come back to that, and maybe Toronto will be just a good switch for him. Um, I think I'm hoping that his offensive output can kind of return back to the fold, and then he can be a 7-win player again, which is nuts. And I think just hoping for that for him and for Toronto, obviously. You had a big smile on your face when I said that, and I kind of want to hear why
Yeah,
before we go on to
so
six.
dude, I don't have my list, and the
Wow.
so you were talking about Terang, and you were talking about the reason you put Jimenez above Terang is because Jimenez has showed it. He showed it, but he showed it in 2022, and to see the regression from 837 to 712 and then 638 OPS, dude, it's so hard for me to put a guy with 638 OPS. I don't care if you're the best defender in the league, which he might be. Dude, I think the WAR, I don't know.
What was
That's
Terang's OPS?
7.4 WAR is insane, but the regression in the offense, I don't know. It's tough, dude.
Yeah, no, I get it. So Terang had a 665 and Jimenez had 638.
Yeah.
So I mean, and then
It's
OPS
just it's a
plus
regression, but
82
again,
and
like
5.
you said, Terang hasn't shown us 837 OPS with a 141 OPS plus. So
Interesting.
I
I
don't know.
would not have told you Jimenez would not be on your, not even on your
I didn't even
top
look at
10.
his numbers, honestly. I might have. I just kind of. I know his hitting was so bad last year, and it was like my judgment did not lie. They were pretty bad.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
It's fair. I mean, I can see why there's a lot of room for concern, and there if he even was an above average hitter, there wouldn't be any reason to say he's not like a top five guy. So it's kind
Yeah,
of sucky he's already here at seven. Um, but yeah, I mean, until he proves that he can do that again, I think he's gonna keep slipping down these lists, unfortunately.
yeah.
All right, well now I'm curious about this guy too for you.
This is gonna be a similar type player, but like, okay, go ahead. Sorry,
Okay, so for six, I have, according to me, the future Hall of Famer, Jazz Chisholm here.
dude. This is. I don't have him.
What?
I don't have Jazz. No,
You don't have Jazz either.
no, I don't have
Wow. Okay.
Jazz. I'm wondering who you're leaving off that I have then.
I don't even know who else could be in your top six, like
Just,
genuinely.
just you'll see.
Okay.
I don't think my top six was crazy. I thought they're gonna be pretty close, but
I guess not. Okay, so for Jazz, um, main thing we're looking for here is health, I would say. Last year he played 147 games, which was great because previous 2 years it was 97 and 60. He played 124 in 2021 also. Um, OPS is topped out at 860. 2022 was kind of his best year, which I mean, even then it was really good. It just wasn't fantastic. Only a 2.4 WAR. Last year he did 2.7. Um, I really like Jazz in New York, to be honest with you. We said this last when he got traded to New York, and I was like, I think he's gonna fit in with that culture really well. And I mean, New York is a little more like traditional and kind of, I don't want to say classy, but more kind of like they keep to what they know, I guess, and they
yeah,
have this long-standing kind of professionalism and like just the way they go about things. And I think the shaving rule is kind of one of the things that shows that. But I think Jazz fits in with like that persona and like everybody hates New York. I think he feeds off of that really well. And it was fun to watch him in the playoffs. I don't think he had a very good playoffs. I don't have the numbers pulled up for you directly.
Yeah.
But even like looking at last year, and then coming over to New York, the 825 OPS was when he was in New York. He had 130 OPS plus. He had 11 home runs, swiped 18 bags. We'll see how he fares at second. He's kind of moved all over now. He was center field in Miami, and then he played some third in New York. And now it sounds like they're going to slide him over to second to replace Torres. So we'll see how it goes. Six might be a little high for him, but I think I don't know. I still like what Jazz brings to the table. Um,
Yeah.
he's a flashy guy, you know. He's gonna show his emotions out on the field. But I think again for that reason, that might be why I bumped him a little bit more, just because of where he's at. So
No, dude, a big part of this was the whole like positional like limbo. Like, is he gonna stay at third? Is Osvaldo Cabrera gonna go to third? Is he gonna go to
yeah,
second? Where's Jazz gonna be? So I wasn't really sure if he was even gonna be a second baseman. But yeah, looking at his numbers, dude, it'd be hard. I don't know, like having Terang in there with. I can definitely see Jazz being there like over like Terang or
yeah,
Garcia because Jazz is, I mean, 24 home runs, 73 RBIs. That definitely makes up for that gap between the defense, and even Jazz's defense is not bad at all.
yeah. It's if
Um,
for playing third for one of the first times, I think he was actually pretty good over there to pick it up that quick. In like 40 games or so. I don't think you would say he had like that was kind of his first time playing third, so I think
yeah.
that's something.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm probably being too disrespectful to Jazz, honestly, as I have been in the
Oh,
past.
no, you just think about when I said he was a future Hall of Famer and now you hate him
Yeah,
because
I honestly that did hurt his reputation in my mind 100%. Um,
Aaron Judge, Stanton, Otani, Jazz Chisholm.
it's just so I'm at number six, right?
Yes, 6 and 5.
So there's no way you have this guy in there unless he's top five. But I have Nico Horner.
Horner.
Horner? I have Nico Horner.
He's a lot higher for me, but I'll give it.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so then I'm just preaching to the choir then. So 2022, 4.2 WAR, 5.1, 3.7. So consistent WAR. His hitting the past 3 years has been above average. Just the defense is great. 105 OPS, one plus, 102 OPS plus, 101. You're probably going to say the same stuff, just super consistent. I think he's super underrated too. I'm sure you would agree.
Hmm.
A lot of the rankings, I did see him pretty high, which was nice to see. And then the batting average, like for a second baseman, that's huge. 302, 281, 283, 273 dating back to 2021. So um, super high on him. I think he's 100% going to churn out another four WAR season with league average to above league average OPS plus with a great defense. So
Yes,
um,
I agree,
number
100%.
six. Five. Do you have Matt McLean?
No,
Please,
I don't.
dude.
Okay,
I'm
well, do you think McLean's a utility guy or is he a second baseman?
no. Utility as in like a bench guy they're gonna just pull out or
No, utility as in like he plays like all over the field, and so it's kind of like are we gonna call him a set second baseman, or is it kind of like a
I,
I
I
don't
think he played almost all his games at second the first year. So I don't know what their plans with him are. Um
know. In 2023, he played 15. Wait, let me double check this. You can. Oh wait, I'll get. So he played 89 games. 53 of them were at short. 37 were at second.
yeah, so we can kind of assume that you can take up the shortstop out because now Ellie's gonna be there. Unless
Right,
Ellie because they pulled Ellie up with like halfway through the year or something.
and then Lux is gonna play. Where's Lux gonna play then?
I guess yeah, it kind of goes back to the Jazz, like you don't know.
Yeah, right.
I'm
So
just
I mean, it's fine. I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
I'm not. I
I'm
just
super high on McLean. I know I've talked about him a lot. You kind of have too, but 864 OPS in his first year, age 23 season, 16 home runs, 50 RBIs, 14 stolen bases, in only 89 games. He racked up a 3.7 WAR.
that's
I'm
nuts.
just I'm super high on him. I think he's gonna be so good. Um, and yeah, I'm not 100% where he's gonna play defense, but with how good his defense was at second base and I guess shortstop moving around, but um. Yeah, I think he's going to have a great year. That's
Yeah.
interesting. I don't know.
So he's not on my list, obviously. And I guess. you're really into the buying low on these guys and kind of the upside of a lot of them, which I respect. I'm not disagreeing with that. But yeah, it's kind of like another Tyler Fitzgerald thing with the 89 games is a pretty similar range to be honest. And what did he have last year where he didn't play anything? Just a bit like a bad injury?
McLean?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, that can be some cause of concern too. Let me see.
Because normally when you see guys go out, it's like, oh, he just like Tommy John, but obviously he's a positional player.
Just
So I don't know what kind of injury he had where, uh, is it bad?
just a light shoulder surgery, and then he later had a stress reaction in his rib cage.
Okay. Well, hey, you never know.
Hey.
We'll see how he comes back. I don't know.
Position
Maybe,
players are a lot different than
yeah, 100%.
pitchers
Yeah.
with those injuries,
And
but
if he's playing second, it's not like, well, I don't know what arm it was on, but you don't need to throw it that far across the field to get to first.
Mhm.
So it's like, it's okay. I'm sure
Yeah,
he'll be fine. I agree with you.
I guess yeah, I'm definitely more like projections than like if they've proven it, I'll give it to them.
Yeah.
Um, which that can definitely be kind of volatile and not very safe, but yeah, some of these guys I'm super high and I think they're definitely gonna be good if they stay healthy. But my number four, I'm very curious. So one of the guys that had a down year last year, you might be knowing who I'm talking about. I'm still super high on him because he has proven it. I guess these next two guys have proven it before. They just have had a down year last year. I said Semyon is my number four. I'm guessing you have him top three or even top two.
Hmm.
Okay. So I said Semyon at four. I do like him a lot. He has an interesting story because when he got in the league, the first couple years, his defense was the worst in the league. And then all of a sudden, when he was in Toronto, it just kind of clicked and he became a Gold Glover. That was in 2021. But his first year is like his defense was absolutely terrible, but his hitting was just he's always been like league average at the beginning. But ever since 2021, 45 home runs in 2021 with a 131 OPS plus. Then he got traded to Texas. 26 home runs, 733 OPS, 106 OPS plus. And then 2023, another great season, 29 home runs, 100 RBIs, with a 126 OPS plus. And another big thing about this guy that I love is from 2021 until 2023, so that 3 year span, he led in games, plate appearances, and at bats in all those years. And this last year he played 159 games. So a guy with that durability is super valuable for the team. The only reason why he dropped to four, otherwise I would have kept him at probably two or three, was because he has 699 OPS and 100 OPS plus. Still 23 home runs. I He's turning age 34 season. I still think he's going to be amazing, but this my next guy on the list I just think is going to be even better, and this next guy is younger. So
Okay.
7.4 in 2023, 4.1 last year. So
Yes.
still a phenomenal player.
So, okay, so I'm on 5 and 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I hope you have this guy in your top three. I don't know though. Or you just kind of forgot about him. But there's no way you did. Ozzy Albies, number
Yeah.
four. Okay, so he's my four. Wait, no, five. Sorry, I'm sorry. He's my five. Um, yeah, so hurt for a good chunk of last year. Only played 99 games. 2023 though, 148 games, 849 OPS. He hit 30 home runs, 109 driven in, 513 slug, 126 OPS plus. And we've seen him do that before too. 2021 was also a really good year. He had 30 home runs. And then 2022 only played 64 games. So we're kind of going back and forth here, but man, when this guy's on the field, one of the best second basemen in the league for sure.
Mhm.
Definitely brings some pop to the bat, which is becoming more common at second base, but still, when you have it, it's super nice. And yeah, switch hitter obviously also is really cool here too. So hoping he can stay healthy. I don't have much else to say on him. Hoping he can kind of have a nice comeback year after he did struggle too last year. It wasn't that just he was hurt, just also wasn't
Mhm.
playing as well, but all of Atlanta didn't seem to be playing up to their standards either. So yeah. My number four, and this is kind of where I get a little bit controversial probably.
Uh-oh.
I have Altuve at number four, actually.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so Altuve is I mean, you could say a lot of things about him and good things, obviously. I just what I saw was, let's see. So I guess I thought there was one more year in between here where his numbers were kind of ticking down. But it's kind of like what you were saying with Simeon. 915 OPS in 2023 down to 790 in 2024, and he is 34, going to be heading into age 35 season pretty much. He'll turn 35 pretty soon. Um, yeah, I don't know. His defense is getting worse 100%.
His defense, I'll I'll make your point even better. His defense, the past three seasons, defensive run save, -16, -16, -17. He's been last place in each of those years.
Yeah.
Second base.
Right. Thank you. And I would say I just don't think I don't think it's gonna get I don't think it's gonna keep getting better for Altuve. I think it's gonna keep getting worse. And I don't want four to be like a disrespectful number for him here, but the other three guys I just think have more upside and at where they're at in their career now, I think is better than where Altuve's at. And there's talks about him switching from second to left field, which is kind of like I don't even know. And I mean, even if he stayed at second, again, we talked about the defense. So I think he's well past some of his better years. His best season was a 7.9 WAR back in 2016, followed up with a 7.7, and then more recently, his best one was a 5.2 in 2022, and then he followed that up with a 2.8 in 23 and a 3.4 in 2024. I don't know. I think I obviously was trying to give him as much respect as possible, and I think it would be a shame to have him not in the top five. And he is still a really solid player,
Mhm.
but I just couldn't justify him putting him above any of these other three guys. So
So I'm at number three, right?
yes.
Okay. This number three and two, it was so hard for me to rank them, and it appears I got both these guys kind of high on my list compared to yours. But number three, I said Ozzy Albies. Ozzy. So one interesting thing, and you kind of mentioned it with the back and forth thing, but this might just be like kind of superstition. It probably is, but I think there's something to it. So let's see, looking at his, what do I want to look at? OPS plus. Looking at 2019, 24 home runs, 113 OPS plus. So great year, 852 OPS. And then 2020 COVID year, 100 OPS plus, 770 OPS. Kind of down year, kind of average, whatever. And then he picked it back up in 2021, 30 home runs with the 800 OPS. And then 2022 kind of regressed back down, also injured. He only played 64 games. Um, Regressed down to 93 OPS plus, and then 2023 he went back up like he usually did, down, up, 33 home runs, 849 OPS with a 126 OPS plus, and then he continued the trend and regressed back down last year. So if that trend continues, which it has for the past 6 years, he should trend back up, but I know that's kind of a odd argument. I also do just think he's a great hitter. 4.7 WAR last year, which was mostly offense generated. His defense is like right about average. He was -1. I was above average, so maybe slightly below average, but he's only 28 years old. So I have no doubt in my mind he's going to be great this year, especially if he stays healthy. That's kind of the big what if. Um, so yeah, I think he's top three, and I think he can move up to two. I don't see the one spot being taken. I think it's kind of a clear number one for second baseman.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, number three, Ozzy Albies. My number two, dude, this was so hard. I said Jose Altuve.
Mm.
And I know a lot of lists had him at like two or three. Um, I under his defense is so bad, and it was so hard to put him at number two with how atrocious his defense was, and also to kind of add in so the talks to move to left field, I think that was mostly rooted out of the fact that if they brought back Bregman, that he was willing to do that, so Bregman could play second. That was kind of the big talk because like yeah, Paredes at third, so Bregman wasn't going to go to third. Um, I would still think that they should do that move because playing left field is easier than playing second base, but um I guess it all depends on the player. But looking at his numbers, and I think it's fair to say that we can scrap the 48 COVID season games. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I would say take it with a grain of salt is probably the best way you could put it.
okay.
Because it's like
So,
you don't want to like just remove it because they still play baseball, but it is a short stretch.
going back to 20 age 24 season. So this last year was his 34 season. So I'm going to give you a 10-year span. Um, I'll give you his OPS. 830 OPS, 812, 928, 957, 820 or 837, 903, COVID year 630, 840, 920, 915, 790. So that does scare me the last two going from that 915 to 790. But his OPS plus was still 126, which looking at the 790, that OPS plus is even hot. Like it should stand out to you even more because 26% above league average is pretty valuable. And his batting average the past 3 years, 300, 311, and 295. It's
Yep.
just, dude, it's so much consistency. And he posted a 3.4 WAR with literally negative like probably four defensive WAR. So his offense is just so good. And it's such a consistent bat. And I feel like with how much offensive numbers he's put up in the past, I feel like he deserves the number two spot.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to argue with anybody that has him between 1 and 5 or whatever. I think you can make an argument for either way. I think that's just kind of my thinking. And are you ready for this now? I've been thinking about this in my head like the whole week. Okay, ready? I'm looking right in the camera for this.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, Jose Altuve, we don't need you. We don't need you anymore. Why? Nico Horner is
Oh
here,
my
baby.
gosh.
Come
What
on.
is what number is this?
Three.
Oh, dude. That's
I'll give you my explanation.
okay. Go ahead.
So, would you agree with me that in second base, we've seen a lot of guys where it's it goes back and forth with the years they have, right? Like you see really good things and then you see not so good things, injuries, inconsistent play, kind of like up and down a lot, right?
Yeah.
So with Nico, what I love about Nico, the 3 seasons he's been up consistently the whole time, 2020 through 2022 through 2024, 135 games, 150 games, 151 games, OPS plus 105, 102, 101, OPS 736, 729, 708, batting average 281, 283, 273. The defense, oh my gosh, this defense, he grades out so well. Baseball Savant loves him for defense. Base running, also super valuable. Super good base runner here too. Yeah, so 20 bags in 2022. You start 43 in 2023, 31 last year. But what I love about Nico Horner so much is you know exactly what you're getting with this guy. And at a position where there's not many other guys you can say that for, I think that is incredibly valuable. And the bat, I think a lot of people point to the bat, and I'm okay with a bat that is slightly above average because you know it's going to be a vacuum at second base. And the other thing is you don't need Nico to be this slugger. You have Kyle Tucker, you have Michael Bush. You have Ian Happ. You have PCA. PCA can hit 20, 25 home runs. You have all these other guys that can do their job, and you just need Nico to do his job, which you know what that is. It's a decent bat, but it's really good defense. And the fact that he's shown that and shown exactly what he's made of the past 3 seasons, I love that so much. I'm so high on this guy. I agree with what you said. Incredibly underrated. And I think he is just the perfect piece in Chicago right now. And I love what they have in him. And I think Chicago does too. So number three, that's my case. If you have
So
anything to say, I'll let you go.
yeah. I mean, I'm not totally against it. I understand that you know what you're getting argument, but do you not know what you're getting with Altuve?
Well, yeah,
Like, I
no,
know he
yeah,
kicked out a little bit, but I don't know. I think it's hard to
yeah.
make argument because even like Nico's OPS has ticked down each of the past 3 years
I mean, yeah, but what? Like,
from
what is it?
735 to what 707. So not
It ticked down 7 points, 22 to 23, and then 20, 21. in from 23 to 24. So I mean like to me that's not like a big enough difference to say like he's trending downwards. A
Yeah.
two-way ticking down over 100 points is enough for me to say he's trending downwards. On top of his defense being awful,
Yeah.
I think Nico is, I wouldn't even say he's trending up. I would just say he's not trending down. And it goes back to more of like, I know what I'm going to get in a Nico Horner. Altuve next year in age 35 season with bad defense. We don't know where his offense is going to be. We can probably assume it's going to be pretty good still. I just feel more comfortable. I would say I feel more comfortable having, like, I'd rather have Nico Horner at second than Altuve at second next year.
Going, okay.
Yeah. So that is kind of where I'm coming from. So yeah, that's my Nico Horner bit. I hope you enjoyed that. Number two, I have Marcus Simeon. I'm pretty sure we have unanimous number one then.
Yeah.
Um, I'll echo everything you said. Simeon's great. Another guy that kind of goes back and forth here. I forgot if you said this, but it's like it's like 1 year he'll be really good and then he'll kind of have a down year and then really good again and then a down year. He's been doing this like the past 5 years, which is kind of funny. But he's been doing it really well for a long time now. Similar in age with Altuve here. Um, and yeah, maybe Altuve should be higher than Simeon on my list, but I like what you brought up too about the games played, just super consistent. I think what attracted me to Simeon more than Altuve was that 7-win season in 2023. That's something we haven't seen Altuve do in 8 or so years, and the fact that it was more recent for Simeon, I think, gave me the edge for him. And I have more confidence that Simeon can kind of bounce back to what he did in 2023 than Altuve did in, 2016,
Hmm.
2017, whatever year it was. So yeah, I don't have much else to say on Simeon. I think how Texas does because all could also like impact how he does because we saw Texas kind of struggle last year. He struggled a bit, and still a 4-win season is struggling for him, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But then a 7-win season in 2023, we went know what they did in 2023. So yeah, and then do you kind of just want to do a unanimous kind of group talk on
Yeah.
Ketel Marte for number one?
Real quick, I have a question. So, the Rangers signed the two big contracts, the 2023 offseason, I think it was 2022 offseason. Corey Seager, Semien.
Yep.
I think it's safe to say that that was a huge home run,
Yeah.
especially considering they won the World Series like as soon as they signed those guys. I just
Absolutely.
want to say like that was those two contracts have been awesome. I know Seager's been hurt a lot, but even when he's out there, like he'll still put up 35 home runs in like 100 games.
And you see his value in the postseason too in
Yeah,
2023.
absolutely.
So
His he is so clutch.
yeah,
One of the
definitely.
most one of the best, probably he might be the best postseason hitter of our like generation these past like 10 years. I think,
You don't think it's Stanton?
oh, I guess Stan's pretty good too.
They're probably it's like one and two probably.
But
But
Stan didn't win, and Seager has
right.
two.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's kind
true.
of another big
That's
thing.
fair.
Um,
Do
yeah,
you
so number one, we can just kind of pinball back and forth. Obviously, Ketel Marte. I'll let you run through the actual stats, but I'm gonna give kind of why I think his numbers are clear cut. His defense is amazing. His offense is amazing. But what I love the most about him is so consistent. I'm gonna read you his numbers from each month. So starting in March, only 17 at bats, 780 OPS. Okay, decent. And then going into April, 5 home runs, 880 OPS. May, 5 home runs, 702 OPS. So that was his worst month, and it was still he still hit 5 home runs, drove in 14 RBIs, and then 702 OPS, and then he went on a tear the last 4 months of the season with a 1.069 OPS, 1.048, 1.152, and a 944. So his second half was stellar. But just having a guy, even like the great guys, like Judge started the year like terrible, like even the good hitters have one bad month. He was not a liability at any times in the season, which I think is awesome if you want to start your case on why he's the clear-cut one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking solely off last year. I think he led the league in WAR for all second basemen. And these are numbers that it's like MVP numbers, man. I mean, 36 home runs, 95 RBIs, 932 OPS, and you could still even say he's underrated, which is like
Oh,
crazy to
100%.
me. Like Ketel Marte is not the guy you're first going to think about when you think of like the superstars of the
Mhm.
MLB, but he definitely deserves to be up there. Um, yeah, I would agree with everything that you said. A really good hitter, really solid on defense. He fits so well in Arizona too. I love him over there. Um, yeah, I was definitely just more focused on what we've seen recently from the like even 2 years ago he was really good, and now last year it seems like he's kind of really hitting his prime right now, and I'm more than willing to bank on that and continue to put him at the top of the list where he belongs. So yeah, I agree with everything that you said there.
Yeah, real quick, one another props to a team, props to the Diamondbacks. They signed him an extension, 5 years, 76 mil,
Ooh.
which gives them control in 2025, 2026, and 2027. So 3 more years. That was a home run, kind of similar to Corbin Carroll. That was a home run too. Yeah.
That'll be perfect for them because I mean that'll be age 35 by the time that's over, age 36 maybe. So
Yeah.
yeah, they'll probably I don't know what they'll do with him at that point, but you'll get him for I think a perfect stretch of his career where he's at right now. So yeah, I
Yeah, for sure.
definitely agree with what you said. All right, well, you have anything else to add?
No, I think we're good.
All right, well, that was our top 10 second baseman. Let us know what you think down below, whose list was better, what you agree with, disagree with, all that good stuff. Yeah, hopefully we'll see how the Super Bowl goes tonight. That should be fun to watch and see who wins. Hopefully, might be a good or bad week for me next week, depending on what happens. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. Spring training is right around the corner, so gonna have some stuff coming out for that pretty soon too. So looking forward to that. But yeah, be sure to check us out all social medias, Loose and Groovy Baseball Show. Thank you for listening, and have a great rest of your week.
Thank you.